In the enigmatic depths of the ocean, where sunlight dissolves into a hypnotic gradient of blues and silence rules with absolute stillness, lives a creature that defies everything we think we know about marine life. It has no teeth, no claws, and no armor. At first glance, it appears fragile, almost invisible in the vast underwater landscape. But upon closer inspection, it reveals a spectacle of shimmering colors, flowing forms, and ethereal movements, as if the sea itself paused to admire its presence. This living marvel is known as a nudibranch, a mollusk so exotic it could be mistaken for a being from another world. What nudibranchs lack in size, they more than make up for in breathtaking beauty and biological brilliance. Each individual is like a living artwork in motion, sculpted by natural selection over millions of years. Their shapes evoke floating flowers, aquatic flames, or celestial feathers. But beneath that delicate appearance lies an organism perfectly tuned to its environment, an evolutionary masterpiece that uses camouflage, mimicry, and even chemical warfare to defend itself and hunt. While we often turn our gaze to the giants of the ocean, the mighty humpback whales, the serrated teeth of sharks, the wingspan of gliding rays, we overlook the silent majority of the sea. The creatures that thrive without fanfare. The nudibranch invites us to shift our focus. It is the antithesis of grandeur, and yet, for those who truly look, it offers a performance that rivals the most spectacular marine displays. These mollusks, part of the order Nudibranchia, are found across all the world's oceans, from tropical reefs to the icy waters of the Arctic. They feed on sponges, cnidarians, and sometimes even other nudibranchs. Some are capable of absorbing toxins or the stinging cells of their prey, incorporating them into their own bodies as a means of defense. Others glow under ultraviolet light or mimic algae and coral so precisely that they seem to vanish into their surroundings. Each species tells a unique story of survival and adaptation. In this documentary, we won't glorify the loud or the terrifying. Instead, we turn our attention to the delicate, the mysterious, the almost invisible. Because sometimes nature's deepest secrets don't roar, they whisper. And in that chromatic, hypnotic whisper that drifts through the belly of the ocean, nudibranchs reveal one of the greatest wonders of marine life, the power of the small and the truly extraordinary. Prepare yourself for a breathtaking journey into the most colorful and unexpected corners of the underwater world. Our path winds through lush coral reefs, plunges down sheer ocean walls, and weaves into abyssal cracks where light barely dares to reach. Settings that serve as the stage for one of the most enigmatic and astonishing creatures on Earth, the nudibranch. These beings, though lacking a protective shell, flourish in harsh environments with biological finesse. They are life reinvented, generation after generation, in an evolutionary dance that defies logic. Throughout this journey, you'll discover how these mollusks have rewritten the rules of survival, how they've learned to thrive without the ancestral shell of their relatives, exposed yet unstoppable. You'll witness how they transform their bodies into living pharmacies, absorbing poisons, storing toxins, even repurposing the chemical weapons of their prey for their own defense. They fight, camouflage themselves with near invisibility, and glow like spirits of another world beneath the sea's darkness. Each nudibranch species is a living narrative of evolutionary genius. Some take on spiral shapes, others resemble burning flowers or miniature coral sculptures. Many deceive the eye entirely, blending so perfectly into their surroundings that they seem to dissolve into the reef. Their biology is pure alchemy, and their very existence, a quiet ode to nature's ingenuity. But this isn't just a tale of beauty. It's a reminder of resilience. Nudibranchs are natural strategists. They live without spectacle, yet they master complex defense systems, navigate fragile ecosystems, and lead lives rooted in efficiency and adaptation. They prove that in the animal kingdom, the smallest is not always the weakest, and the most dazzling often carries the deadliest secret. At the end of this deep dive, you may never look at the ocean in the same way again. Because nudibranchs aren't just beautiful, they're a reflection of an evolutionary intelligence that shapes marine life silently every single day. They are the alchemists of the deep, miniature biological engineers, and perhaps one of the purest expressions of nature's creativity. It's time we gave them the spotlight they deserve, through the lens of admiration, science, and conservation. While they may seem like creatures plucked from a fantasy tale, nudibranchs are in fact gastropod mollusks, the same phylum that includes land snails and slugs. But unlike their more familiar relatives, these ethereal beings are entirely marine and shed their protective shell once they reach adulthood. What might seem like a vulnerability at first glance turns out to be an invitation to evolutionary ingenuity. Without a hard shell, nudibranchs have evolved a remarkable toolkit of survival strategies in a predator-filled ocean. Here, their biology truly shines in its complexity. The dazzling array of vibrant colors, psychedelic patterns, and bizarre shapes they display didn't emerge by chance. Each hue and pattern on a nudibranch's body serves as a coded message that screams, "Keep your distance." It's a classic case of aposematism, a visual warning that tells predators, "I'm toxic or I'm unpalatable." And that warning is no bluff. Many nudibranchs don't just look dangerous, they really are. Some species feed on equally dangerous prey like sponges, anemones, and other cnidarians, accumulating potent chemical compounds in their bodies. These poisons are metabolized and stored in specialized structures known as cerata, elongated projections atop their backs. Beyond serving as defense, cerata assist in breathing and, in some cases, digestion, acting as multifunctional extensions of the animal's body. This marriage of sculptural form and chemical armor transforms nudibranchs into true oceanic alchemists. They repurpose the threats around them into protection. They are creatures that don't just endure harsh conditions, they turn them into their raw material. Unlike animals that depend on strength or speed, nudibranchs rely on biological sophistication, visual warning, and resource manipulation. And perhaps most fascinating of all, despite their apparent fragility, these tiny mollusks are, in practice, highly specialized and refined systems. Their shell-less bodies become showcases of evolutionary strategy, where every color, gesture, and structure answers the demands of the marine ecosystem. It's a reminder that in the depths of the sea, surviving isn't just about brute strength. It's about adaptive intelligence. Among the most astonishing strategies nature has devised in the marine world, one elevates nudibranchs to an almost mythical status. Some species can feed on organisms notorious even among predatory fish, cnidarians such as fearsome jellyfish and anemones. What follows sounds like science fiction. Instead of simply digesting their prey, these nudibranchs are able to isolate and store, intact, the nematocysts, tiny stinging cells that cnidarians use for defense and hunting. Almost incredibly, the nudibranch absorbs these cells without triggering them, incorporating them into its own body as biological shields. This rare phenomenon is known as kleptocnidy, the theft of cnidae. It's one of the most ingenious defensive tactics recorded in the animal kingdom, and its chemical intricacy continues to intrigue scientists. Nudibranchs not only avoid the danger of these toxins, they repurpose them with surgical precision, arming themselves with their enemy's own weapons. It's as if, by eating a jellyfish, a nudibranch dons armor crafted from the predator's needles, a daring and effective evolutionary feat. And it's not just defense where these mollusks excel. Their reproduction also breaks the mold. All nudibranchs are simultaneous hermaphrodites, meaning each individual carries fully functional male and female reproductive organs at the same time. When two meet, mating is a bilateral exchange. Both fertilize and are fertilized. This doubles the chances of passing on genes and ensures reproductive efficiency, especially advantageous in marine habitats where encounters with the same species can be rare and unpredictable. This sophisticated reproductive system prevents time and energy from being wasted searching for the perfect mate. With any encounter, fertilization happens. Many species also lay eggs in long gelatinous ribbons or spirals that attach to the substrate or corals, a sort of floating nursery where the next generation will hatch and continue the evolutionary dance. Observing the behavior of these small creatures closely, you realize their complexity isn't only in their vibrant colors or chemical armors. It extends to how they love, how they generate new life, and how every gesture is the result of millions of years of biological fine-tuning. Nudibranchs don't just eke out a living. They optimize every moment of it, as if the ocean itself had crafted them with clockmaker's precision. Over millions of years, natural selection has sculpted nudibranchs into masters of camouflage. Their bodies have become living mirrors of their environments. Some resemble delicate seaweed, swaying with the currents like true underwater foliage. Others mimic coral branches with uncanny accuracy, or even fragments of marine detritus, like sand particles, broken shells, or sponges. This ability to perfectly mimic their habitat makes them virtually undetectable, even to the most seasoned predators or trained human eyes. They are living ghosts drifting through ocean shadows, seamlessly blending into the underwater backdrop. This camouflage isn't merely decorative, it's a refined survival tactic. By hiding in plain sight, the nudibranch can feed, mate, and explore without drawing attention. In some instances, camouflage is so precise that only a forensic-trained eye could detect them. The ocean conceals them. But for those who know where to look, these creatures are a rare biodiversity treasure. Among the world's most iconic nudibranchs stands the mesmerizing Glaucus atlanticus, affectionately known as the blue dragon. With its silvery blue, metallic body, foot-long enough to resemble a tiny mythic dragon, it seems suspended between reality and fantasy. But don't be fooled by its ethereal beauty. The glaucus is a cunning predator, preying primarily on the fearsome Portuguese man-o'-war, Physalia physalis, famed for its venomous tentacles and jellyfish-like appearance. Floating upside down at the ocean's surface, the blue dragon rides ocean currents like a drifting leaf. When it feeds on the man-o-war, not only does it resist the venom, it stores the nematocysts in specialized pockets throughout its body, concentrating them in defensive zones. The result? A fragile-looking animal equipped with powerful chemical weapons. For the unwary human, its touch can deliver a painful, intense burn. The existence of Glaucus atlanticus perfectly illustrates the duality of nudibranchs: beauty and danger, fragility and lethality, delicacy and biological precision. It doesn't just drift with the waves, it upends expectations. It is a predator of the very creature that instills fear even in giant marine species. All of this wrapped in a guise that looks more like a living jewel or dream creature. The blue dragon is more than a symbol of marine elegance. It's a reminder that even the smallest beings harbor deep layers of adaptive intelligence, strategy, and strength. In its tiny body lies one of the ocean's most powerful lessons. Never underestimate the power of the invisible. Among nudibranchs, some species blur the boundaries between natural kingdoms. One of the most astonishing examples is the Philodesmium longicerum, a genuine biological anomaly straddling the line between animal and plant. This nudibranch hosts symbiotic zooxanthellae algae in its tissues, photosynthetic organisms that astonishingly convert sunlight into energy. So in addition to hunting and feeding, this mollusk effectively performs photosynthesis like a marine plant. It's a symbiosis so finely tuned that it allows the animal to sustain itself for extended periods, especially in food-limited regions. It's as though it absorbed the logic of corals and reinvented what animal nutrition can be. This sun and salt hybrid constructs its own energy autonomy, a feat exceedingly rare in the animal kingdom. Instead of relying solely on prey, Philodesmium coexists seamlessly with its environment, harvesting light for sustenance. Even its appearance reinforces the disguise. Its dorsal fronds look like delicate algae, helping it blend into the coral colonies where it resides. A translucent, photosynthetic ghost, drifting between light and shadow, surviving with intelligence and balance. If Philodesmium embodies silent strategy and symbiosis, then Chromodorus willani is the vivid opposite. It announces, "Don't touch me." This nudibranch sports a strikingly pale blue body, edged with dark bands and bold orange stripes, classic aposematism, the visual language of toxicity. It doesn't hide, it flaunts its defenses in vivid technicolor. These vibrant hues aren't decoration, they're biological caution signs. I'm poisonous, stay away. This silent regulation prevents one species from dominating reef substrates, maintaining space for corals and supporting ecosystem resilience amid warming temperatures and human pressures. By keeping sessile organisms in check, nudibranchs act as biodiversity caretakers, They preserve areas for coral larvae settlement, aid nutrient cycling, and bolster the ecological health of habitats already under strain. Every nudibranch is, in effect, a small ocean gardener, pruning excess and fostering diversity in its microcosm. In a marine world under growing threat, understanding and valuing these discrete organisms is essential. They are biological sentinels of ocean health, live indicators of balance or collapse. And while their colors dazzle us, it's their unseen work that truly sustains marine life. These creatures don't just star in reefs, they play a deeper role as environmental bioindicators. Marine scientists use nudibranchs as living gauges of ocean health. Their sensitive, shell-less bodies and specialized physiology are highly responsive to subtle shifts in water temperature, salinity, dissolved oxygen, or pollutants like heavy metals. When a nudibranch vanishes from a once thriving site, it's as if nature is sounding a silent alarm that something fundamental is unraveling. Declines in nudibranch populations often precede indicators of broader ecosystem stress, such as ocean acidification, increased turbidity, or chemical contamination from human activity. Their absence can foreshadow biodiversity loss long before changes become visible. These mollusks are, effectively, early warning systems, guardians that alert us while there's still time to act. But their value doesn't end with warnings. The eye-catching beauty of nudibranchs, their psychedelic shapes and bright hues, has also sparked growing fascination among divers, underwater photographers, and ecotourists worldwide. Many travel continents just to glimpse these ocean jewels in the wild. Nudibranchs, often unintentionally, have become icons of conservation and wonder, bridging science, admiration, and environmental respect. This surge in interest is helping shape a new sustainable economy in coastal communities. Areas once dependent on destructive practices, such as intensive fishing or coral harvesting, now see greater income potential in eco-diving and marine wildlife tours. Nudibranchs are becoming invisible allies of both conservation and social development, proving that protecting nature can go hand in hand with supporting coastal livelihoods. Preserving these creatures isn't just about protecting their beauty. It's about maintaining the natural alarm systems and ecological balance that keep the ocean alive. Each nudibranch spotted on a healthy reef is a small miracle of resilience, and each one lost is a reminder that our window to act is closing fast. Behind their delicate appearance lies a treasure more valuable than their colors, untapped biomedical potential. Researchers worldwide have identified nudibranch compounds with anti-cancer, antimicrobial, and anti-inflammatory properties in lab trials. We're talking about molecules that may soon inspire new medicines, vaccines, and life-saving therapies. Protecting nudibranchs isn't just environmental conservation. It's a direct investment in future medical breakthroughs. The extinction of these animals isn't just the loss of another biodiversity thread. It's the erasure of biological connections honed over millions of years. Mechanisms that evolution has perfected, and that we are only now beginning to understand, could hold cures for diseases we haven't yet conquered. Destroying nudibranch habitats is like erasing chapters of nature's book before we've read them. To preserve them is an act of wisdom, a scientific responsibility, and a declaration of respect for the organic intelligence pulsing through the ocean. But nudibranch survival is inseparable from ocean health, and our seas are in crisis. Ocean acidification, driven by rising CO2 levels, is changing marine chemistry and threatening sensitive invertebrates like nudibranchs. Their finely tuned biological systems are often the first to feel these subtle but devastating changes. Reef destruction, caused by overfishing, plastic pollution, global warming, and unregulated tourism, delivers a final blow. These ecosystems provide food, shelter, and breeding grounds. When reefs die, it's not just a landscape gone, it's an entire hidden world extinguished, along with the species that rely on it. That's why saving nudibranchs means saving oceans, saving ourselves. Life on this blue planet is woven together by invisible threads linking microscopic life to great whales, coral forests, to top predators. By protecting the smallest, we safeguard the whole. Now that you know the role of nudibranchs, their beauty, biological intelligence, healing potential, and ecological power, you might never see these ocean jewels the same way again. If this documentary moved you, please share this message, like, subscribe, and drop a comment below about what amazed you most. Living color. Let's work together to give a voice to the ocean's silent dwellers and inspire more people to care.